Hello, world. Hi. Hi. Oh, cat mode starts off. Cat mode starts off until people redeem. Hope everyone's having a great Friday. I've been having like a pretty okay Friday. It started off pretty slow, but I decided to leave work early today, and then I got home and I took a nice nap. And that just makes the weekend start off so good. Start off so good. Little early nap in the early afternoon. Yup. And then I went and I got food. Oh my god, chat. When you're on a diet, food tastes so good because you're always hungry. You're always hungry, and so you're like, I need food. I need it. I need it, and then as soon as it's time for you to like actually eat, because you're like, you have your allotted calories prepped for the day, then you eat, and it tastes so freaking delicious. I had this salad from Chili's, this like Mexican Tex-Mex bowl chicken salad thing, and it tasted so, I feel like it was honestly mid is what it like should have been, right? Because I picked it up maybe like a little bit after the pickup time, so it wasn't like super warm. And then I took it home and I started eating it while watching Andor, but even a little bit cold, it was like, it's like my taste buds have been deprived. I was starving. So as soon as I started eating it, I was like, this is delicious. Peak, just chicken and salad and other, whatever Tex-Mex stuff, cheese, the little chips that they put in the salad. Delicious. And then, I meant to start streaming earlier today, chat. I meant to start streaming earlier, but I got caught up watching Andor with the new season. I'm almost done, chat. I just finished episode 11 of 12. But as I was eating, I was like, oh, I might as well watch a little bit of Andor. I'll watch an episode, and then it turned into 3. It turned into 3, and that's why I didn't start streaming earlier. But it's so good. For a Star Wars show, it's so different. It's not normal Star Wars. It's more, honestly, it's like if Star Wars and Game of Thrones had a kid, where it's like the Star Wars universe, and you've got all these cool things with like, it's basically like a space western with droids and blasters and whatnot, but then you've got like this really like political thriller, all sorts of weird stuff going on behind people's backs, all sorts of politics, all sorts of backstabbing, all sorts of super spy stuff like from Game of Thrones, where everyone's betraying everyone. Andor's so good, chat. Andor's so good. I feel really bad because I should have saved more, because I have to go on a trip in like another week. I have to go on a trip, and then when I'm like on the plane, I'm gonna need something to watch, right? I'm gonna need to watch stuff. So I should have saved some so I could watch it while I was on the plane. And now because I splurged and watched so much while eating, now there's only one episode left. One episode left, chat. That's like 45 minutes. That's not enough. Not enough for plane watching stuff. So I'm gonna have to find other plane watching material. And I felt like in the moment when I decided to turn it on, I was like, oh, it's probably fine. I haven't really needed to watch things on planes recently, but when I think about it, that's cause all the plane rides I've done recently, they've been at like godforsaken early or godforsaken late hours. So really I'm like, sleepy time. I'm just gonna pass out here in this seat, and then I don't watch anything. But this time it's not sleepy. Hi, Ash. Hello, wifey. Hello, Wi-Fi. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Hope your Friday's going good. My Friday's going good. But yeah, I'm fucking... Oh, finished episode 11 of 12 of Andor, and I'm freaking so pumped, chat. I was literally watching it like 30 minutes ago, and now I'm like, I could be a super spy. I could, fight the Empire. Give me a blaster, chat. Give me a blaster. Blaster, I hardly know her. I'm doing well, Ash. I'm doing well. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the weekend. Although, honestly, this weekend's probably gonna be like, I've got a lot of shit I should do. I've got some school projects I should finish. Group projects, so I can't really afford to slack. And I honestly, my group mates have sort of carried me this whole time, so I really can't slack. Cause if I really slack here, then they're gonna be like, Bell did jack shit. Bell did jack shit. They're gonna report me to the professor, and the professor's gonna fail me, and then I'm doomed. Doomed. Dunzo, chat. Dunyan rings. Dunyan rings. Hold on. I need a drinky. The other thing when you're on a diet is, I feel like I drink so much more water now. Part of it is I wanted to drink more water because I used to drink so much soda. And so I was like, okay, I guess we drink water now. But now, I don't know whether it's because I switched to water or it's because I'm eating less and I just need more water in my life to supplement the water that I normally get from food. But now I drink way more water. You have a client project doing web dev? So now you have to learn Next JavaScript? Next.js? Is that what that is? Ruby on Rails? I'll show you a good railing. What? You didn't hear me say that. You didn't hear me say that. Full stack JavaScript framework? Frick. These are all words that are beyond me. Beyond me. I don't want to deal with another line of code in my life, chat. I've been working on some code that, the past month, we've been working on some integration for some new software at work for our customer. And I'm not really a software girly, but we've been having so many freaking problems, and our software engineer is so busy working other programs that I'm literally the best person on the program to be crawling through code, chat. And it's bad. It's bad when I'm the one crawling through the code, chat. I follow none of the good practices. I change stuff without logging changes. I work out of the release folder I got scolded for that one time, working out of the release folder, so I don't do that anymore. But I did that one time, and I don't add comments when I code things, and I copy and paste things there's no heckin' tomorrow without really understanding the full implications of copy-paste. And then we just hit run, chat. We just hit run and we see if it works. I feel like the truth of the matter is, especially when you're dealing with shit that really is not your lane, I'm only dealing with this because there's no one better to deal with this available, then it turns into the Wild West. It turns into the Wild West. You have money? Kaiba Corp? I guess that's how that works, chat. When you have money, the rules just don't apply to you. I mean, they've got, those fucking people with, They've got that new shit with the gold card or whatever, where people basically just pay like $5 million and then they get a visa to the US, right? Isn't that what that shit is? Which, by the way, frickin', I'm honestly, I'm not sure if I should feel happy or unhappy, or I should just be laughing at whatever spat's going on between Elon Musk, the lizard man, and Donald Trump, the 80-year-old baby. But I think it's kind of entertaining seeing them battle after, like, frickin' whatever the fuck the start of the year was, chat. I feel some sort of Schadenfreude, or whatever the German word. Schadenfreudenfreude, blah blah blah. You don't care how wealthy you are? You would not trust that visa? It's a trap to get foreign wealthy people into the US. I mean, maybe, maybe not. Here's the thing. If you're that wealthy, you probably are willing. You probably are willing to give your money to the US in order to live here, right? The only reason that they would do that is because they wanted to live here so badly that they were ready to pay the money, right? That's some big foreign exchange student energy, chat. The fucking foreign exchange students, when they're like in the college town, right? The college town where everyone's cars get the shit like kicked out of them and they get dinged because everyone's bad at parking and people are doing all sorts of stupid stuff while they're drunk. And the foreign exchange students are in the college town and they're still driving fucking BMWs, Porsches, other fancy luxury sports cars, right? They give no fucks. They're like, Papa's got money. Papa back home in China, in Korea, in wherever, they got money. So it's fine, you know? Other fascist governments have done that. They lure wealthy people into the country and then throw them in jail and seize the assets. I mean, it could happen, chat. It 100% could happen. I think the truth of the matter is now, though, the country is more, like, if it's a fascist country, which, honestly, you know, maybe we're headed that way, it's fucking in favor of the rich people, chat. If anything, this country is the rich people preying on the poor people right now. So, if the rich people are, like, in danger of getting, like, imprisoned, they're probably gonna find it out first. They probably got those rich people contacts, you know? If you're, like, a mega rich person, and you're, like, buddy with El Musco, you probably get that early warning call from him when he hears some shit's going down to you, right? You probably get that warning, and you probably skedaddle. I think the modern world is very, very heavily favored towards rich people because they basically have access to predicting the future with their connections nowadays. In the old days, if you were rich, you could just, like, hire people to do shit for you, have a bunch of resources at your disposal, but that didn't necessarily mean that, like, you could predict the future in some ways like you sort of can now. Now it honestly feels like the rich people basically predict the future because they have so many hidden insider contacts everywhere. They get warnings before everyone else. Some bull crap. Bull crap. Not fair. Not fair, chat. I want to be rich. I want to be rich. I want a sugar daddy. But yeah, I don't know. The whole, like, buying visas now is certainly a thing that, like, is kind of crazy. I don't know why you would do that when literally a bunch of, like, you know, foreign exchange students and whatever, immigrants, they're literally just getting iced, chat. They're getting freaking iced for no reason. You speak out in any sort of way against the government and you're, like, not a proper U.S. citizen, you're toast, chat. ICE coming, breaking down your door. Even if you are a U.S. citizen at this point, there are U.S. citizens that they've come and fucking iced. Honestly, it's pretty dystopian, chat. I don't like it. I don't like it. It makes me worried. And I'm a citizen, chat, so I'm not even, like, in danger necessarily yet. Maybe I'm in danger because I'm broadcasting my anti-Trump political opinions, though. Rest in peace. Rest in peace, liberals. We're getting farmed like Hassan. What the fuck was that? Frickin' random. They knew what they were doing. They knew what they're doing. Honestly, it's just straight up political oppression at this point. But why are we talking about such freaking, honestly, such disheartening news, chat? I wanted to spend some time this stream watching Stuff Made Here's new video. Came out a couple days ago and I still haven't seen it. But I think it's about cooking a brownie. Not traditionally. I think it like the thumbnail was like cooking a brownie from the inside out or something, champ. And I don't know why you would want to do that. I don't know why you would want to do that. I don't think he's gonna do it the way I'm thinking of doing it. But if I wanted to cook a brownie, like, not from the outside in, there's such an obvious secret weapon, chat. It's called the microwave. Like, 100% doable. 100,000% doable. All you would have to do is you'd have to be, like, very strategic about, like, what power level you set the microwave to and how long you went and all that. I think you could do it, right? You might have to do some, like, finagling where you, like, run the microwave and then you let it sit for 5 minutes, and then you run the microwave and then you let it sit for 5 minutes, and that would, like, allow the heat to distribute or some bullshit. But honestly, it doesn't sound that hard. It doesn't sound that hard to cook it, like, from the inside out or all at once. I don't know. Let's take a look. Boop, boop, boop. Need to open YouTube. But yeah, I honestly feel like he's been, like, making videos at a way faster rate recently, chat. Way faster rate. And I'm, like, sort of stoked about that. That's kind of cool. But honestly, I wonder how incredibly tiring it must be. It must be, like, really difficult to just keep pumping out projects like that. But I guess if that's your full-time job, right? Which it probably is at this point. He must make a ton of money from just making content, because it's so cool. Okay, chat.
Brownies. They're delicious.
Can you... Wait, is that too loud? Is that too loud, chat?
Brownies.
Yeah, that looks too loud.
They're delicious. Brownies. They're delicious, but polarized.
And you guys can see, right? Rip ears, rip headphone users, rip your speakers. Your speakers weren't necessary before. I just needed to destroy them. That's what I needed.
Polarizing. Some like the soft and delicious center. Others like the edges, which are hard and tarry. Kind of.
Chat, I'm feeling some bias. He said hard and tarry. Who says tarry? Tarry sounds so bad. I personally am an edge kind of gal. I like the crispiness.
Thing you might ask your doctor about, but if you're...
Oh, he thinks I need a doctor because I have taste. Chat. Crispy, yes, not hard. Exactly, not tarry. Tarry is like very clearly a negative connotation word here. Center all the way, you're sick. Are you also like, are you one of those sickos who's Team Cream from Oreo? Huh?
Edges, which are hard and tarry, kind of thing you might
He also for sure added that sound effect, that cracking as he ripped it.
ask your doctor about. But if you're really into that, they actually make a pan with this crazy shape, which cooks the entire brownie, all edges. And
I've seen this before, but it's been so long that I forgot that like this pan existed to make the all edge brownie. Also, chat, is it me or is his forehead getting bigger? Sorry, I'm honestly such a fucking I feel so shallow, always pointing out physical aspects of people. I'm too judgmental. But I feel like his forehead's bigger now than it used to be. Or maybe the rest of his face is smaller. I don't know. Maybe his brain's getting bigger.
I've always wondered, if there's an all-edge pan, why isn't there a no-edge pan? It seems like the kind of thing that should exist, but it doesn't.
Wait. I mean, there have to be edges, chat. Like if there's no edges, it doesn't end. It's an infinite brownie. Which, that could be cool too, you know, an infinite brownie, feed the world. End world hunger. Probably end up with brownie overrunning the solar system in the universe in our plane of existence. But I dig it. If there's any way I want the world to go, infinite brownie is like an okay way to go.
What would it even look like? A brownie?
It's turning into the Bowberry chat.
Brownie sphere? Floating the brownie in midair? Or a four-dimensional hyper brownie tesseract?
This looks like, chat. To me, this is, if anything, this is all edge. This is all edge. Like, the more edges there, like, this is purely edge, right? As it gets stringier, the ratio of edge to not edge goes up.
Pan, I decided it's time to find out. And going into this project, I thought it was...
Yeah, I do. I'm Kirito. Edgelord master, super swordsman video gamer who will save the world through sheer Deus Ex Machina. Wait, it didn't play for you? I heard it. Did you not hear it?
wasn't going to be that bad. Like, how hard could it be to make a brownie pan? But it turned out to be a lot deeper rabbit hole.
Chat, again, interesting. You didn't hear it, huh? I think I know why it is, but I'm not gonna fix it until after stream, chat. But all of these, when I look at these ideas of, like, these brownie pans with spikes in them, I feel like every spike just adds edge, chat. You're just adding more surface area. The shape with the least surface area per volume is a sphere, so really what you want is a sphere. I see a sphere in the bottom left, though, I guess.
The hole than I was expecting.
There was so much machining and baking.
Oh
More than I was expecting.
Wait, there's like... He carved out all those spikes? I feel like that's probably so difficult to machine. I feel like they're so viable to break. Brownie Demon Core? Exactly, Rax, exactly. You drop the screwdriver and then suddenly you're just vaporized with brownie particles. Delicious, delicious. I'm closing the Demon Core and then I'm going, and all the brownie particles are just gonna shoot straight onto my tongue.
So much machining and baking. Then somehow electronics...
Wait. Is this what brownies look like in the
there
fucking...
was so much machining.
In the oven?
and
I'm not gonna lie, this like looks kind of weird to me, chat.
baking.
I feel like at this point, I feel like it almost looks more like meat. Like I feel like I'm looking at like hamburger meat or something like that.
Then somehow electronics and software got involved.
Oh god, it's a cutter. It's a cutter. Nobody trusts the robot knife. Nobody trusts the robot knife. I've seen what Michael Reeves' surgery robot does. This is one step below that, but we're on the way. We're on the way to robots shanking us all. High skill issue.
And I spent way too much time trying to impress my wife. But in the end, we have some
Okay, that. Chat. Is it me or does that like not even look like it? Like that looks like fudge or like
way
brown jello.
too much
It looks so
time
floppy and not cakey, and
trying to impress my wife.
it doesn't look appealing the way brownies should. It doesn't. There's no like flaky top crust, chat. Why are you even making a brownie if you just want like fudge?
But in the end, we have some pans unlike anything you've ever seen.
So join me on my quest to find out what would an edgeless pan even look like.
I feel like not like that. Chat, I'm gonna chalk this up as the small percentage chance that he does not accomplish his goal. I think his goal is unreasonable. And if anything was gonna be his goal to not have edge, it would have been the microwave. Put the batter in a ball and you throw it in the microwave so it heats it from like all the way through all at once.
The first thing we gotta do is get on the same page about what a brownie edge even is. My wife thought I meant something like the edges of a cube, but that's not quite what I'm talking about. I think a better term would be the brownie boundary. Basically,
The brownie boundary, chat. Comment that below the video. Comment that he should have just made a ball and threw it in the microwave. I mean, honestly, I should, but I feel like that's some level of disrespect.
the outer surface of the brownie, especially where it's touching the pan, which tends to be the chewier, tough part. But I think
Wait. Why does he keep describing it as tough, chat? It's just crispy.
I'm talking about. I think a better term would be the brownie boundary. Basically, the outer surface of the brownie.
Okay, so any surface area is bad. Is that what that's what I feel like he's saying. He doesn't like surface area because it gets like the crispiness, I guess. And like I said, chat, I think if that's what you want to try and cook it from the inside out with the microwave. Microwave brownie just sounds awful. But the reason I think that it gets crispy is because the pan is like, there's a temperature gradient from the outside of the brownie to the inside, right? The only way you're going to cook the inside is you get the inside to a certain temperature, and when you're using thermal conduction, I think it's if you're conducting your heat, right? The only way to get the inside hot enough to cook it is for the outside to be even hotter, because all the heat has to go from the outside to the inside to warm it up. So I think the only way to avoid it is to have something that doesn't do that, which means you wouldn't have a pan at all, because the pan has to get really hot, right? And then you fucking microwave it.
Especially where it's touching the pan, which tends to be the chewier, tough part. But
something about his brownies just looks wrong, though, chat. This is like not how, even this top part, right? It does not look like the crumbliness that a brownie, like, there's some cracks, right? But all these, like, really smooth parts, that looks like odd to me. That almost looks more like frosting than brownie crust, and I feel like that's bad. That's you want the really crumbly, crispy, like, top layer. That's what I feel like.
But
the flakiness.
I think if you started asking for the boundary of the brownies, people would probably think there's something wrong with you. So We're just going to call them edges. And the reason the edges are tougher is because of heat transfer.
Oh, here it is, chat. It's heat transfer. So like I said, it doesn't look right and you haven't had a brownie in ages. Yeah, I agree. It just, something about it does not look right. Something, like, just does not look appealing. It looks almost like sewage water or some sewage water or swamp water or mud or something like that. It doesn't look good, chat. But, okay, so in order to get heat in, like, the very middle, right? Below the surface here, the only way to get it there is through, 1, the air through the top, or 2, the pan, right? And heat goes from hot to cold, or hot to less hot. So the only way to get it to the middle is for the pan to be hotter and the air to be hotter. And then from those two things, when the pan is hotter, then heat will slowly leach out from the pan into the brownie. Okay? And because of that, that means also at the very edges, right? The edge of the brownie slop or mix or batter or whatever is also going to be hotter than the middle. And so it's going to be like a little, it gets cooked more, right? That's why it's crispy.
When you put brownies in the oven, it's super hot and they're cold. Heat energy flows from hot to cold until eventually they reach the same temperature.
This is, like I said, I think the one thing he didn't really show here is that
they're cold. Heat energy flows from hot to cold.
He's showing it like the whole thing turns color all at once. That's not what happens, chat. It like seeps in, right? The outside would start turning purple while the inside is still blue.
Eventually,
And then it would slowly turn to the inside being purple and the outside being this darker purple.
they reach
And then the outside being red and then the inside being you know, it's sort of rainbowy. If you've seen like thermal pictures of things, you like probably understand the sort of gradients I'm talking about.
the same temperature. But inside
Rax, why are you saying bean juice? It does look like bean juice, and I don't like that.
the brownie, things take time. The batter touching the pan heats up first as the energy slowly migrates towards the center.
Chat, I want to state that I haven't pre-watched this. We're just on the same page about how heat works.
By the time the center gets hot, the outside has been roasting for 10 or 20 minutes.
Getting that chewy, hard, edge-like characteristic. And that all explains a lot, but there's still another subtle effect going on.
Imagine we had a bit of brown
Another subtle effect?
between
Chat, it looks like a poop.
2 plates. It would heat up extra fast and get burned. And the corner of the pan is very similar. We have energy coming in from 2 sides, which heats up this area faster, making the corners of the pan the most overcooked parts.
So, as is usually the
He should just learn to cook his brownies better, chat. I feel like he's either got his oven... I mean, I'm saying this as someone who's not a baker. I think his oven is too hot, so there's too big of a gradient, or something like that. Something's not right. He's just doing it wrong, chat. He's just doing it wrong.
the case, my wife is right.
The brownie edges are the edge of a cube.
Which leads to the obvious question. What if we made a pan with no corners?
It should be easy. A cube
It's
without
just a
corners
sphere.
is a sphere. So let's see if it works.
Chat, it's a cube. The metal cube. Now every time I see metal cubes, I think of the tungsten cubes. It looks like a trophy. Oh yeah.
Here it is, and it is so cute.
Now it actually, like, straight up, Rax was right. Rax was right. Demon core, chat. He closed it all the way. We're all dead.
Brownies expand when they're cooking, and I really don't want this thing blowing apart, which is
So you put the air hole in the top? The air hole is to make it so that it can vent out?
why there's these screws. Having to bolt your brownie
Wait, he put screws.
pan together isn't the most user-friendly design, but it's a prototype. You fill it through this tapered hole in the top, which perfectly fits a catheter syringe. I think a suppository syringe would be more appropriate,
Oh, why you gotta say that?
but this is just what I had.
Let's see if it works.
Wait, but really, like, why did he... There's a hole in it. Why does he need to add screws? I'm so confused. What?
Here it is. It is so cute. Brownies expand when they're cooking, and I really don't want this thing blowing apart, which is why there's these screws. Having to bolt your brownie pan together isn't the most user-friendly design, but it's a prototype.
Also, chat, taking this thing out of the oven is gonna be like... It's literally going to be a small ball of incredibly hot metal.
You fill it through this tapered hole in the top, which perfectly fits a
Yeah, I don't understand why he was worried about it exploding if there's a hole in the top, chat.
catheter syringe. I think a suppository syringe would be more appropriate, but this is just what I had.
Let's see if it works.
Also, why does it just looks so liquidy? I feel like the batter should not be that liquidy, chat. This literally just looks like sewage water. See, he didn't even need the screws. It was just gonna come out the end anyway. Although, I guess he had to make it in 2 parts because, you know, machining a hollow metal ball. I guess I don't know how that would work. Yeah.
I don't think the batter agreed with the sphere.
It's gross. It's gross, chat.
Here.
I think it may have
I don't even want to talk about what it reminded me of. It's against Twitch TOS.
overfilled this a little bit, but it's good. It means the brownie totally filled the sphere, which is what we're going for. I brought the wife in. She's one of the foremost brownie experts in the world. She got the Girl Scout brownie badge. Before that, she literally was a brownie, and she thinks they taste good. So we're gonna get her opinion on how good these things are. Are you ready to taste the future?
I'm ready to taste the brownie.
I don't
Wife made here, let's go. She's so cute, chat.
know if this brownie is one you would look forward to. All right, so I've got it underneath here.
He should have cut it off. He should have fucking removed the excess before. Why does he show it to her like this? This looks like something really, really not appropriate.
That's a small brownie. I like a...
Damn. That's not the reaction I was expecting, but valid.
a hearty portion of brownie.
You understand what's going on here.
Well, there's no edges.
Exactly, no edges.
I wanted it to cook midair.
I thought about that, but the biggest brownie you could cook midair would be like a little drop.
But let's get this open.
And now that I think about it, like the ratio of edge to core for all spheres is the same, but like really what you should do is you should make a really big sphere, and that way you have like a really big chunk of middle brownie, right? Because if you have this small sphere, you have to like clip off a little bit of all the edges, and then all you end up with is a brownie basically the size of like a peanut M&M, right? After you've disregarded all the edge area.
I don't want to like just rip the... Oh!
It looks like a cake ball. I guess that's not bad.
Smells like a brownie.
I think it smells kind of weird. Take a little nibble. Make sure you get over all 10,000 buds. Did that seem like the center of a brownie or the edge of a brownie?
Pretty century.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's soft. So 1 to 10.
5.
It's fast.
I was thinking about it while I was eating it.
It's like
You know,
mediocre.
cook the brownie. There really isn't any difference at the edge. You just don't have that brownie texture. It's like a cake, not a brownie.
Yeah, it looks like a cake ball, chat. Or like a donut
It
hole.
looks crusty, but it's not.
Ew.
Ah.
Sweet. Novelty. Good for portion control, but
Not much else.
It's just a cake pop.
I think the cake pop pan is kind of interesting.
Chat, I promise I didn't pre-watch. We're just on the same wavelength. This is engineer to engineer, like telepathy. We're just on the same wavelength.
Novelty, but it's not even really a brownie pan, but it's all good because I have another idea. The center of the brownies takes a long time to cook because heat flows very slowly through the brownies. What if we took something with good thermal conductivity and kind of stuck it into the brownie.
Aluminum is about 700 times better at conducting heat than brownie batter, at least according to the research I could find. It would act as a pipeline, bringing heat directly into the center of the brownie.
But now you're just increasing like, I guess what you can do is now you can cook in shorter time because the center gets hot faster, so you don't need to overcook the edges as much. But really, like, every time you add a spike, right, you're just adding more edge, right? You're adding more spots where it's touching the really hot pan. So I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about it.
Although a single rod would only work for stuff right around it, so we would need a lot of rods to cook everything.
It's kind of a weird bed of nails thing. It's gonna be hard to make, but I think this should work.
Let's find out.
It's just starting to look more and more similar to the all-edge brownie pan.
Ugh, can't see anything. Coolant makes it so hard to film. We gotta fix this. The camera lens gets coated by chips and coolant, so I made this. It's an air knife to blast off anything that gets on the lens.
Chat, he's such a creator that he's fucking making things to make his videos cleaner. They're basically gonna blow air over the whole thing and, like, reverse vacuum over the screen the whole time.
A sheet of air shoots out of here, and it works really well. That is so much better.
That's kind of
All right,
sick.
now we can leave the machine.
Air knife files available. I guess if anyone else wanting to build air knives for their GoPros or
To flail around for a couple hours, and we
I
got our
wonder how
pan.
much air pressure you...
This turned out so cool. It's like the personal pan brownie.
You see, this brownie doesn't look that good either, chat. I feel like this is some, like, old-ass, like, 80s commercial-looking brownie.
If you think about cooking brownies in this pan, they're gonna be trapped in the spikes and you won't be able to scoop them out. So once the brownies are done, you unscrew the bottom and then slide the...
This looks store-bought and dry as heck. Not as dry as your mom... Right, sorry. It just didn't look good to me. You know what I feel like? You know what I feel like the classic brownie looks like? Let me see. There's a brand of batter that I think has, like, the right look. Do. Open image, a new tab. Chat, this is, to me, this is what brownies should look like, right? They should look, like, crinkly. Like, the top should be this, like, this flaky, crinkly, like, it's almost like you baked delicious chocolatey paper on the top of your brownie. This is what it should look like. We should watch this old Tony air knife video? I don't know what you're talking about. But this is what peak brownie perfection looks like in my brain.
The spikes out of the brownie. And the spikes are tapered, so I can hopefully get them out of the brownie without destroying it. And I wish I would have realized this problem at the beginning, but I didn't. I actually made a whole other pan, so now I have a cool paperweight, I guess.
This looks like it's supposed to be some sort of fidget toy or something. Like back massager type shit where you, like, press the spikes against your back and you rub it or some shit like, or maybe torture device. This is the inside of the Iron Maiden, chat. The inside of the Iron Maiden.
And then on the bottom of the spikes, there's something that just kind of happened. I saw that the stock I was using for the spikes had some extra material. I got a primal glint in my eye and machined a heat sink into the bottom. The thought is that maybe it'll help get some more heat into the spikes to cook the brownie. I don't know. Maybe.
Is that how I think that works? The extra fins give more surface area for air to conduct heat into it, but it also adds capacitance. I don't know. I don't think so. I think if it was just thinner and flat on the back, it would be better.
Maybe it'll just burn the bottom of the brownies, but it looks cool.
It does look cool though.
I really want to put this.
These things are probably so expensive. If you wanted to get this machine by a machine shop, I imagine asking a machine shop to make this for you would be hella
in the
expensive.
oven and try it out, but it's hard to see through the window. So I think we need a way to get a camera in the oven. And I'm imagining a sort of air-cooled enclosure that will go around the camera and protect it, which should be very easy to make with this absolute unit of a 3D printer.
I don't feel like I'd be comfortable putting anything 3D printed in the oven. Are you fucking crazy? I feel like the oven has to get hot enough to melt 3D printed stuff. Or at least, like, mess with their, like, atomic structure, molecular structure.
It's a Form 4L. It's made by Formlabs. I actually used to work there making
He looks so happy here, chat. He looks like such a happy
these
nerd.
machines. And they called me up and said, "Do you have any use for one of these?" I said, yeah. So
Obviously,
here we are. One of the cool things
do you want a free 3D printer? Yeah.
about SLA printers is that they can print some very specialized materials, like ceramics or dentures that go directly into your
Oh! It prints ceramic? Wait, that's insane, chat.
mouth, or in this case, withstanding high temperatures. And this material can handle up to about 500 degrees Fahrenheit, which would turn normal 3D printed parts into a puddle.
Okay, it
And I
makes
could have
sense now.
machined this, but it would be so much work and a lot of material. And I'm doing a lot of machining, so it's nice to just press a button and get some parts out.
I wonder if you machine ceramic, how your, like, support structures have to be. Because, like, how do you effectively get those off without, like, accidentally cracking shit?
The camera sits on these ribs so that it's not directly touching the wall. You just put it in like this, and the air gets pumped into this manifold, which distributes it to different points to make sure there's no hot spots.
This sounds risky, chat. Like, I sort of believe he can do it, but this sounds... Cameras are expensive, and he's putting one in the oven.
And this is the exhaust, which goes to another hose out of the oven. And this is really important. If we pumped a bunch of air into the oven, it wouldn't be able to hold temperature.
Unfortunately, the tubes get crushed by the oven door, so...
Yeah, how's he gonna make it... How's he gonna seal it? Oh!
Just don't tell my wife. I'm gonna fix
Oh!
this when we're done. You won't even be able to tell.
Chat, that's so expensive.
It's kind of like a camera spacesuit.
I'm
He
a little
must have
nervous
so
about
much
this pan.
money.
I really
He's just destroying shit without worrying about it.
hope it works, because I don't really have any other ideas. There's only one way to find out.
Fake? Oh, it does look like bean juice. Rax, why did you say that? I can't unsee the bean juice.
This looks really good. The wife is back. Remember, she is a brownie expert. I think this looks like a real brownie.
It also looks like a real brownie pan. I already think it is more promising. It's got the little crackly top.
Ooh, it does have the ring. Yeah, that's good. It seems like she agrees. His brownie connoisseur agrees. You want the wrinkly top.
She loves that crackly top.
Why are we putting it upside down?
I'm gonna unscrew the bottom.
Interesting first step.
See if we can do this without destroying the brownie.
She's recording it.
I just want you to yank it off.
His camera woman.
Wow.
Oh, it looks... Chad, it looks like fudge.
It smells good. It just released some...
Some pheromones.
Ah!
If you blindfolded me and told me to cut that, I would say, that's the center of a brownie, for sure. What do you think?
She seems unimpressed. She's like, yucky, yucky.
For sure. What do you think?
It's very close. But there is a little bit of an edge on the top.
Wow, she's nitpick. But yeah, something about this looks so fudgy and not cakey.
Scale of 1 to 10.
I was between a 7 and an 8, so I'll say 7.5. That's good.
Pretty
Definitely
good.
more brownie than cake. So why doesn't a cake cook like that?
It's a good question. I thought about it, and it's like, whatever.
Now I want a cake with edges.
I suspect the
Wait, do cakes not have edges? Chad, am I fucking crazy? How's it? Alright, whatever.
mini edge can be fixed with cooking temperature and time.
So I made this little thing that can go on top of the pan to measure the temperature in the middle and on the edge.
So we can see how things are cooking and dial in our settings.
Ooh. I think the setting that you want is you want low heat for longer time. Because the lower your heat, then the lower of a temperature gradient you're going to have from, like, the inside to the outside. So if you do, like, really low heat, and you, well, it's not, like, what you have to do is you have to, like, slowly increase the heat over time. But you make it so that the outside is never very many more degrees than the inside. So you heat it to, like, whatever, 200 degrees. And then you let that heat seep into the brownie. And then when the brownie is all, like, close to 200 degrees, then you raise it to 210. And so on and so. And then through that, you keep doing that until the whole brownie is cooked. But it'll be very even, because the whole brownie will always be, like, a very similar temperature.
Here's what I measured a normal brownie pan doing, and here's our spike pan. The temperature of the middle brownie closely tracks the edge, and it also cooks quite a bit faster. All right, let's see if we can get rid of that little edge now.
Wait, it does cook faster on this? I guess, yeah, since it doesn't need to permeate through all that, like, mid-brownie.
That is the opposite of what I wanted. This
Oh.
took longer than I was expecting. I've lost track of how many
This looks really cakey. It looks like delicious cake, though.
brownies I've made.
Why do they all look so different? It's so like this one's smooth.
I've lost track of how
I mean, we can't see the top
many
of this
brownies
one.
I've made.
This one looks burnt. This one's like bubbly,
But
and this one's crinkly.
eventually, I got it. And it turns out the brownies want to be cooked for
This is really nice. This looks really nice. The top.
less time at a lower temperature, which is kind of the opposite of what I expected.
Less time, lower temperature. Interesting.
Look at this. It's perfect.
I think there's still an edge.
Oh, she's just there to rain on his parade, champ, like a good wife.
There's not an edge. I think to get to the bottom of this, we're gonna have to up our science a couple more notches. There's a thing that I've been thinking about which should very clearly answer the edge or no edge question.
Why is it just me, or is it bigger on the top than the bottom? It's almost like trapezoidal.
When you bite into a brownie, your teeth are cutting through it. And depending on how hard it is, you'll interpret it as an edge or a center.
Based on if it cracks.
And what I want to make is sort of a mechanical mouth that will cut through the brownie and measure the force.
Is that what this is for? Is that what the robot knife is for?
This will let me quantify exactly how hard or edge-like any brownie I make is.
So towards the edge, it's going to be like harder in like, what's the word? The like Moore's hardness scale or whatever, in that you're gonna need to exert more force, and then it'll crack, and then it'll give, and then you get to the squishier, softer inside. It is bigger on the top.
So let's make it. I really like how this thing turned out. It's amazing how much better a little block of wood can make something look. And the way that it works is pretty simple. There's a motor embedded in this butcher block, which moves this little cart with a razor blade up and down.
Oh, it actually moves really fast. That motor must spin really... I expected this to move really slow.
And the razor blade is
Strain gauge? I mean, you should just strain gauge the metal, and that'll see how much it flexes as it, like, cuts down.
pushed by this load cell, which measures
Oh, load cell works too.
how hard we have to push the blade. Now we can measure exactly how hard the edge of any brownie is.
And you probably didn't realize this, but it's actually against the law to make something like this and not stick everything you can possibly
No, not the carrot.
think of under it.
Oh, His knife is dull, chat.
you can
It
possibly
didn't chop
think
the
of under
tomato. It literally squished it. Is that a Nerf dart? Oh no. 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 Your blade.
Just kidding. This is a standard brownie edge. The force goes way up when the blade touches the brownie, then it drops kind of in the middle, then it goes way up again when it hits the thick crust on the bottom.
That's His science is really good here, chat. His science is really good. But honestly, what I'm really thinking is that load cell has to be like really, really precise to be able to measure this little force. It can't be that much force.
And then this is a nice soft brownie center.
Once the blade hits the brownie, it's pretty much constant force all the way down.
Pretty obvious difference, and it's so cool to see this thing actually measure it.
And the only thing that matters is what the edge of my no-edge brownie looks like. But for that, we need my wife.
What is this contraption?
This will tell us, is an edge actually different than the center of a brownie?
Stick your finger in it.
And this is the latest and greatest from my pan.
All right, how much money you got in your wallet? Are you gonna make bets?
I ain't even got no wallet.
Give Zell. Drum roll, here comes the data. You ready? Looks the same.
Does look the same.
Corporate wants you to spot the difference between these two.
Rip ads. Rip skill issue. Should have had Twitch Turbo or been a sub.
Plots. But you can't, I bet, because they're the same. These two plot looks the same.
I think, okay, chat. Here's my minimal thing that I feel like is confounding here. Right, chat? So he's done a good job, like a pretty good job of making sure the blade only cuts through the same amount of brownie by having this wall. So that you don't ever have the brownie like, the more the blade going through the brownie for one than the other. Except, it's got this like gap in it. So technically, especially with this rounded corner brownie, where the gap sticks through, it can go like past the wall a little, and then the blade is cutting more brownie than against the flat. So I think it's really tiny, but it's there. And the amount of force he's measuring is really tiny, chat.
Thick crust. And the only thing that
Is this
Honey.
and this is the latest and greatest from my pan.
But it looks so good.
All right, how much money you got in your
His
wallet? Are you gonna make
late
bets?
brownies look really
I ain't
good
even got no wallet.
compared to the other one.
Give Zell. Drum roll, here comes the data. You ready? Looks the same.
Does look the same.
Corporate wants you to spot the difference between these two plots.
One is red and one is
Can't, I
brown.
bet, because they're the same.
Well, it's still not really a pan though.
I love how he just throws in these stupid memes.
But
Pan.
since
Come
when do
on.
you have to unscrew your pan to get your food out? It's also tiny.
That's true.
I mean, it's so easy to change the thing about the pan. All he has to do is make it not screwed, right? Like, all he has to do is make it a 2-part pan that just, the wall snaps off, right? Or something like, the wall is just a seal that goes around it.
As is usually the case, my wife is right. Our whole goal was to make a real no edges pan, and a little pan that you have to unscrew doesn't really count, especially because it doesn't scale. If I tried to make a full-size brownie pan like that, when I removed the spikes from the bottom, the brownies would just fall out. So I was initially thinking to put the spikes in the top, and you would just remove them when the brownies were done. But it's just kind of weird, and you'd have to have a big air gap above the brownies for them to expand when they cook. And it'll also put pock marks all over the top of the brownies, which will just look bad. I want aesthetically pleasing brownies. So I think the answer
I can't believe he would say that when half the fucking brownies he's made have looked like freaking sewage juice.
is retractable spikes. Essentially a pan with a bunch of holes in the bottom that spikes will go through when it's cooking, and then the spikes get pulled down and out of the brownies when they're done, so you can cut and scoop them. Doing this in a
Okay.
user-friendly way is going to be more complex and less practical, but a lot cooler. My main fear is batter leaking out of the holes in the bottom of the pan. I've actually been mentally preparing to have to make a thing with hundreds of O-ring seals for every spike.
But O-rings are not gonna do well in the heat, probably.
I even made this tiny little micro pan to see if it could work. I really don't.
He should get one of those fucking... You guys know, like, about the super, super mega precise machining that's done with, like... Basically, instead of machining with a blade, they use, like, a little wire, really high voltage. And then they, like, electrically arc from the wire, and it makes really, really precise cuts. He wouldn't have one of those, but I'm sure he knows a contact at some machine shop that has that. And they could make it super... They could make airtight metal for him. They could do it for him.
Don't want to make this. So I'm applying an advanced engineering technique called rationalization to convince.
When you attempt to actually enact mind over matter, some refer to this as a challenging Mother Nature to an arm wrestling competition.
Myself that we don't need this. And we don't. The brownie batter's thick, the gaps are small, it's not going to flow through. It's going to be fine.
I think, chat, you just taper the spikes. Yeah, I think you just taper the spikes and you set it so that, like, as the pan sits down on the spikes, the natural taper of them will, like, the downward push of the pan going against the spikes will seal them.
Hopefully. It doesn't look like it yet, but this is a pan. This is one of those builds that uses every tool in the shop. This is
oh
the
my
whole
god, does he make every spike individually?
plate that
He's got AirPods in.
all the spikes are going to go through.
Okay.
This is one of the walls of the pan. It's a great example of a part that 5-axis makes so much easier. You'll see later, but they're covered in off-axis features, and you can hit all of them in one setup. The rest of the 5-axis parts are pretty similar to the other pan. All in, these pans made...
Are you not worried about, like, splinters? Cutting yourself?
almost 50 gallons of chips.
Oh, I can tell. Like, the way he flicks it off his hand, I feel like he already felt something poking him.
The whole thing is made in a weird way. I divided the upper and the lower pan into 4 pieces because it's a lot cheaper. And just ignore this. You didn't see this.
Oh, he had a manufacturing error and he broke it.
Amazingly, all the parts fit together
Oh, that's cool. He made it snap off.
with just a tiny bit of filing. That's not normal.
Finally, this thing is done. It was a lot harder
That's pretty sick, chat. That's super
to
sick.
make than I was expecting, but it's also cooler than I was expecting. So I think that's a good trade.
And here's how it works.
He turns the lever and it fucking pops it up.
The handle locks down in this position when you're baking. When it's time to serve, you pull it out slightly and raise it up, and then you just push it down and it raises the roof. And the reason I have the handle pushed down instead of lifting up is that it takes a decent amount of force, and if you're lifting it up, you'd have to
You
hold
just
the
lift
pan
the
down
whole
with the
thing
other
up.
hand, which is impossible to do with an oven mitt on. This is the pan that the brownies will bake in, and all the spikes come up through these holes. And then this is the lower section of the pan with the spikes. The important thing is this big flat surface. The upper pan rests tight against this, which seals the brownie batter in.
I don't think this was... I don't know if this was the best approach for sealing it, but...
This
Chat, do you think brownie batter will leak? Yay or nay? I honestly think nay, but I think there are other ways he could have done this that would have been more robust in there.
should work because the batter's thick. If we tried to fill the pan with water, it would leak. The brownie pan slides up and down on these guide rods, which have these weird grooves cut into them.
These are for some special hardware called ball spring plungers. They're
What?
a screw with a spring-loaded ball
I'll plunge your ball.
in their tip. If you press hard on the ball, it can retract into the screw.
There's 4 of these embedded inside the wall, which ride against these guides. So when the pan is down, they snap into the groove and hold it tight. And up top, they snap into this groove to keep the pan from falling apart. Ball spring plungers are great, but don't get too excited because they're like $10 each.
Oh,
And then down on the bottom, there's a very over-engineered looking mechanism, and it may in fact be, but I would argue that we actually need it. When this pan comes out of the oven, it's gonna be flaming hot. Trying to slide the upper pan up without burning yourself would be a real
her acting.
challenge. But even if you waited for the pan to cool, there's another really big problem called racking. You've probably experienced it with a drawer getting jammed when you try to open it, or maybe trying to slide a piece of metal on a rod.
Isn't this like binding?
If the top pan tilts at all when you're trying to slide it,
Yeah, it's
it will
binding.
lock onto the rails. You really can't remove this by hand. It's just gonna keep jamming the whole time.
You have
We
to
need
go
it to be
perfectly
slid up
straight.
totally evenly, which is what led me to this ridiculous design. It pushes on all 4 corners of the pan simultaneously to lift it without racking.
But I feel like it might. I don't know. I feel like the way, like, if the only thing that pulls it down is gravity, it might still. You might still end up with binding on the way down.
It's lever action.
Maybe not.
You can easily do it with an oven mitt on, which solves the burning problem.
All the heavy lifting is done by these roller cams, which are joined together with linkages. They go over center when the pan's in the upper position.
Which locks it, so you're not gonna accidentally stab yourself on the spikes.
Oh, that sounds so painful. You push down on this thing accidentally, and you're like the tray goes down, and then all the spikes come up through your hands. Oh, that sounds so awful.
By pushing down. Isn't this thing awesome? It's maybe a little bit overkill. I mean,
It's pretty
if I was
good.
working at Rubbermaid, I would design it differently, but I don't work at Rubbermaid, do I? This is stuff made.
It's just a bigger version of the small pan, so it should work, but we won't know until we try it. So here we go.
Hey, chat. Oh, is that why they get wrinkly? It's like a bubble inflating and then a leak deflates it?
Oh man, that looks awesome.
I'm also, by the way, surprised he didn't fry his camera.
That is such a uniform brownie. All right, let me go get my wife before I just tear this thing apart and ruin it. Hey, wife.
Oh my god, I can't believe he says it like that way. He's like, wife, come here.
Is that not
Wife,
the most
come
even brownie you ever saw?
It is very flat.
So what do you think you need to do?
I need to pull this, obviously.
This is the
Nope.
part that could be a little better. Pull the lever sideways.
Yep.
And then back.
Now lock
There
it
you
in.
go.
And then I still pull it
No,
back.
push it forward
Push it-
now.
oh. Whoa.
Oh, some
Okay,
leaks
but
through.
now it's just floating. How do I get this out?
No, just leave it. It's just ready to serve.
How do I cut it and get it out?
Like any other normal brownie. All right, let's see. Get you a bite of that edge.
Oh, there's a problem here, chat. This thing sounds nightmarish to clean. That's an actual problem. This sounds so incredibly difficult to clean considering it leaks.
It's a nice little chomp. Would you have ever known that was an edge?
I would have wondered what happened to the bottom of it.
Scale of 1 to 10.
I mean, I think it's a 10.
Whoa, chat, she didn't burn him.
Has no edge. It would be walked all over if it was a person.
I spent way too long trying to get a nice
It would walked all over for not having an edge. Couldn't be cured up.
clean cut. Other than the cut being a little rough, the outside looks just like the inside.
If you were at a party and you have a tray of brownies and you want the middle, you're going for this piece.
Yeah, but honestly, people who don't like edge brownies are messed up in the head, chat. The edge is the best part. You want the crispiness.
You should do an infomercial.
That's a good idea. I've been cooking brownies over and over, and waiting for them to finish gave me a lot of time to kill. So I started messing around
Oh, is this a fucking gun?
with stuff in my shop. You know how it goes, one thing leads to another, and the next thing you know, you've built a mortar.
No, chat. Why is he using his powers for evil now?
It's pretty cool. Drop in a bearing, and then
You could totally hurt someone with this.
And I was wondering, can I shoot a ball into this cup from a distance, which is the kind of thing you do when you're waiting for brownies to finish. But the problem is, I don't know how to aim it. To figure this out, I shot bearings at a few different angles and wrote down where they went. Then I fit a polynomial to that data, which I can use to calculate exactly where I need to point this
I think this is a good approach, by the way, chat. I think it's really easy to be like, oh, well, you should just try and do a big simulation and calculate it with air resistance and all that. I think really underrated skill for engineers is just testing things. Just freaking get out there, test it, take data points, right? See early, see the results early, and adjust based off that.
So the ball will go wherever I want.
approve.
Being able to whip out calculations like this honestly feels like a superpower. And I'm not trying to brag. I
Oh, he's about to do a sponsor.
wish everyone could do this, which is why I'm a huge fan of this video's sponsor, Brilliant.
Brilliant.
You can think of Brilliant as a tool that's fine-tuned to teach you technical stuff. Things like math, programming, data science, AI, all kinds of useful stuff. But
AI, chat. Is AI technical? Are we at that point where we feel like AI is a technical skill? Is that some shit you put on your resume nowadays? You're like applying for a new job and you're like, yes, tools. I am familiar with Excel and AI.
what really sets Brilliant apart is that all the lessons are interactive. They teach you the theory, but you spend most of your time applying it to solve actual problems.
Oh, it looks
Which
so
is why I
fun
just
though.
love projects like this one. The best way to learn something is to actually do it. Another challenge when you're trying to learn something new and complex like AI is where to even begin. Brilliant solves this by breaking topics down into a series of bite-sized lessons. They build on top of each other.
It does look really well done, chat. I mean, I feel like if I was good about consistently doing stuff like that and felt like I had a consistent schedule of doing a lesson like every day, Brilliant would be like a super good purchase for me, but your girl's inconsistent as shit.
They're just the right size to do 1 or 2 a day, which makes it easy to develop a daily learning habit, which I cannot stress how useful this is. I set aside 30 minutes every day to learn.
Wait. Does it say nuclear
Cannot
war
stress
survival?
how useful this is. I set aside
Nuclear war survival skills. I mean, if nuclear war starts, you're toast. Also, is that a Mac? Is that a Mac keyboard, chat? Why do people... I feel like I don't really see engineers using Macs. This throws me off.
30 minutes every day to learn something new. And what's been really surprising about this habit is how easy it is. It doesn't feel like you're doing that much day to day, but fast forward a month and suddenly you're nailing ball-bearing trick shots with linear algebra. So if you're ready to level up your technical skills, or maybe just relearn stuff that you forgot, check out Brilliant. You can try it for free for 30 days. Just go to brilliant.org/stuffmadehere. You can also click the link in the description or scan the QR code. And if you like it, you'll also get 20% off an annual premium subscription.
Is he gonna shoot it? Are we gonna finally see him shoot the bearing into the cup, though?
Now it's the moment of truth. 59.2 degrees should go in that cup. Here we go. 3, 2.
Chat, if he misses, that would be such bad advertising.
1.
Nice!
Yes! That totally went in. Didn't stay in, but that went in the cup. Knowledge really
Good
is
shit.
a superpower, so I hope you check out Brilliant, and thank you, Brilliant, for sponsoring this
Low-key, though, what he could have done is he could have just set the angle, shot one, and then put the cup there.
video.
Oh,
Tired of
hacking?
brownies that are gooey in the middle and burnt on the edges? Introducing the Iron Maiden Pan! The only pan that bakes from the inside out. Its 272 painstakingly crafted metal spikes make every bite torturously perfect.
His wife is so hilarious to see. Oh, frick, they couldn't even clean it well enough for the commercial. Look, the spikes are dirty, chat. The spikes are dirty.
Your brownies will scream with flavor.
Oh, you could hurt yourself so bad.
Handmade in the most expensive way possible. It could be yours for one easy payment of $8.99. Call now. Operators are standing by. Probably.
Do you think he's selling his copy of it for $8.99? It's for sure worth more. He for sure spent way more than that. He's such a good content creator, chat. I feel like, though, this one didn't involve nearly as much integration hell as the other ones did. Where really, like, what I like seeing is I like seeing him struggle and fail and run into, like, issues. I don't really feel like he ran into that many issues here. And maybe it's because it's so simple, right? This whole design is purely mechanical. He doesn't have to worry too much about, like, electrical or software stuff, which is where it seems like a lot of his integration hell issues turn up. But it just seemed like every step he took was a success, and I don't like that, chat. I don't like that. They should have to fail, like I have to fail. He shouldn't be such a perfect engineer. 3 million views, sheesh. The big pan did leak a little. Yup, we all saw. He does live stream breakdowns of every project. Oh. This is cool. Chat, maybe I'll subscribe to his Patreon. But I wouldn't be able to share that stuff with you, chat. That would be like stealing money from it. Anyway, there's another video I wanted to watch. Casually explained engineering. This came out the other day. And I don't know if you guys watch this guy, but this guy's hilarious.
This video is sponsored by Saley. As some of you know, I dropped out of engineering after 1 year to make YouTube videos.
Wait, I didn't know he was a dropout. I feel like there's so many content creators who started out in engineering, to be honest. They don't even end up doing engineering content. They just, like... The kind of people who are in engineering end up being the kind of people who do stupid shit for content. Well, just, like, dumb shit.
Videos, which I originally started to try to motivate myself to study for engineering. So like every dropout, I still pretend I had it in me, I just didn't want to.
For real, chat. For real. Am I tracking? Slow? Okay.
What I like the most about engineering is that it's an extremely practical field. If you ask a mathematician
I feel like this is that picture that they use in the memes.
what this symbol means, he'll say, that's pi. It's the ratio of the circumference of a circle to its diameter. But if you ask an engineer what this symbol means, he'll be like,
That's 3.
oh yeah, that's 3. Most people know an engineer or two in real life, but don't really understand what they do. To make it simple, when you see a news segment like Russian soldier begs for mercy as Ukrainian grenade drone threatens foxhole.
That's fucking terrifying. Like, this is a made-up news headline, right?
Just-
Is this yellow thing like the bomb being dropped? Also, I heard about those Ukraine drones. What I heard is all of them were controlled via fiber optic cable. Which sounds crazy, chat. But what I heard is they were controlled via fiber optics because if you control them via radio or some other electromagnetic style, you can get jammed. So really their solution was to just have all of these robots fly via cable, and there were lots and lots of freaking fiber optic lines everywhere, tangling that sounds like such a nightmare. You would need miles and miles of this. So, like, that's kind of crazy that they did that to me. Also, wherever they, like, took off from, you would still need connection to there. But I don't know. People go crazy nowadays.
Just know that somewhere an engineer is watching with his girlfriend and is pointing at the screen like, yo, I designed that cargo hatch, dude. This is fucking crazy, bro. What a lot of people get wrong is they think that people go into engineering because they like math and science. This is completely wrong. Engineers don't like math and science, they like money.
That's wrong. Sometimes. There are for sure engineers who like money. I like money. But I think most of us like math and science too. The people who don't probably drop out because it's not really something for people who aren't like at least a little interested in it, right? It's just too painful to not be interested in it. Also, when I see this picture, I'm reminded of that, like, the one guy from Iron Man 2 who was, like, in the imitation Iron Man suit, and then it turned and it broke his back. I feel like this guy's about to get his back broken. Or his arms broken.
The math and science you have to do is just an unfortunate side effect. Well, everyone starts engineering by thinking, okay, which type of engineering do I want to do? It very quickly and disappointingly becomes, which type of engineering can I still do?
That's why I'm in mechanical, chat. It's the easiest. That's cope. That's not true, by the way. But I feel like a lot of people like think it's easy because it's more in tune with what they understand.
In first year, you just take a bunch of STEM classes, but then at a certain point, everyone has a come to Jesus moment where they have to decide between buckling down, working on their study habits, and accepting no sex life, or if they're going to
Chat. Why is he calling us out like this? What is this? What is this bullshit?
transfer to business. From there, you'll procedurally experience harder and harder courses until you fail one, traumatizing you into majoring in whatever was the last thing you passed. For example, software engineers scrape by linear algebra, but struggle once things start physically existing.
That's funny because this right one looks so, like, to me, looking at the statics diagram for the truss structure, looks so much more easy to understand than the math on the left. Like, I can do this truss analysis. It's very intuitive to me. The math on the left is like, what? The numbers, Mason, what do the numbers mean?
Civil engineers scrape by statics, but struggle if anything moves.
I can do the dynamics too. Chat. They're definitely harder though.
Mechanical
Also, the Lockheed Martin cap is like... I guess that's where you end up if you're a mechanical engineer. That or like a car company.
engineers scrape by thermodynamics, but struggle when things they're working on become alive and the laws of physics suddenly stop working. Chemical and electrical engineers barely scrape by organic chemistry and quantum mechanics.
Hat for sale, 50% off unless...
Then shake hands with each other and agree that the cream rises to the top. No one goes to grad school because they all have a C average.
Wow. Also fault. I feel like so many of my classmates went to grad school, honestly. I had classmates that went to like fucking Stanford and MIT for PhDs right after graduating. Do you know how that made me feel, chat? You know how much of a failure you feel like when you've got like seasoned classes and your classmates are going to Stanford and MIT for their PhDs?
This is traumatizing because if you hear someone say, yes, I have a PhD, usually everyone is like, oh, very impressive. You must be very smart. But if they say it's in engineering, everyone thinks you're an idiot.
Is that true, chat?
This is because getting an undergraduate degree in engineering is like buds training for the Navy SEALs. No one there actually wants to go and fight a war. Everyone knows you just have to do it so you can write a book and go on podcasts. Now, engineers are usually very put together, organized, and prepared people who don't like sudden change.
That's not true at all. I feel like I feel like most engineers I met are not put together at all. We're gremlins.
To their plans, spontaneity, or having unchoreographed fun in general. Meaning the only thing they truly fear is girls. This means if you're a girl, dating an engineer can be really difficult because especially on the first few dates, you're constantly wondering, is he just shy and awkward or actually autistic?
There's a little bit, chat. The engineers have a little bit, just a touch, right? Just a touch of the tism, okay? It's not that much. You can ignore it, all right? A little bit of the tizzy never hurt anyone.
Worse is if you're a girl in engineering, because if you ever get frustrated, lean back from your computer and are like, oh, I just don't get how to do this. Well, you should have thought it through, Lily Phillips. This is now a group project.
No comment.
With that said, when it comes
No
to the
comment.
actual work you'll do, there's a big difference between working on a train and working on a drug to solve erectile dysfunction, despite them having the same effect on most engineers. So it's important to know what you're signing up for when you're choosing an engineering major, so I'll let you know about each one. Mechanical engineer means you make bombs.
That's rude, but like sort of true. I feel like defense just scoops mechanical engineers up by the dozen because like it's so like there's not real. I feel like so many people are trying to move away from mechanical stuff, even though everyone needs it, right? But I felt like a ton of my classmates got scooped up by defense.
Civil engineer means you make targets. Petroleum engineer means you make money. Chemical engineer means you're a chemist. Being a chemist means you're a cashier at a pharmacy.
Oh,
You're not
not a cashier, chat. Not a cashier. You're not there at the cash register necessarily.
try to correct your confused family members, they will not understand. Electrical engineer means you know that V equals IR, and the rest you can learn on the job. Materials
True.
engineering is just coming up with IRL crafting recipes.
Also true.
Nuclear engineering is trying to explain to everyone for the last 30 years that these are not chimneys.
Wait, is it actually water? Wait, there's no... Is that what it is? Because the nuclear reactor... So the nuclear reactor generates steam to power a turbine. That's how they make their energy. Sounds correct. But that is so much steam. Chat, there's like... And I imagine if that's what they're doing, right? They're steaming water to turn a turbine. There's no reason for them to let the steam keep going. You need to harvest it back so you don't run out of water. I can't imagine that they just do this. Because then they would need to just be constantly bringing in tons of water.
You will be unsuccessful. Software engineering is trying to figure out if you qualify for food stamps.
That... I don't understand why he would say this, though, because software engineers also, like... Software engineers for sure make them... At least when I got out of school, I think it's starting to change now. Software engineers for sure made the most out of money school out of anyone. I had a friend in high school who went into software engineering. He went to a different school. And afterwards, he got his first job at Hulu, and he made more than double me. Chat. I get that there's like the disparity between men and women and all that, but it was literally double. More than double. Software engineers make crazy money, chat.
Computer engineering is being relieved that you at least didn't choose software engineering. Biomedical engineering is when you just can't take it anymore and you need at least one class with a girl in it. Mechatronics...
I feel like if you can't take... Like, if you want the engineering with more girls in it, it's probably chemical engineering, by the way, chat. Probably, like, I don't think there are enough programs out there with biomedical engineering for it to be common. So if you go to a place that doesn't have biomedical, it's chemical, chat. It's chemical.
Oh, I don't know how that got in there. That's not engineering. Now, a lot of mechatronics... Oh, I don't know how that got in there. That's not engineering.
Rude.
Now, a lot of people are scared to go into engineering because they've heard it's a lot of work. But the good news is if you found a course really hard, you'll feel a lot better when you tell a senior that you got 52% on your final, and they're like, yo, congrats. This might cause people to ask the question, wait, so the people designing rockets and planes might not have even understood what they learned in school?
Correct. That's the biggest, most huge imposter syndrome moment of my life was graduating. Realizing how many test problems I got wrong, how incorrect I had been on homework, and then being like, but I'm literally a workforce level engineer now. I now can get a job somewhere working on designing bridges, but I was getting questions wrong. So there's like a moment of terrible clarity where you're like, oh shit, everything we're relying on working is made by idiots.
Isn't that a bit worrisome? And not at all. Engineering is about adaptability and problem solving in the real world, not about rote memorization of textbook material. If you're at work and the software says that your design is at risk of structural failure, just double it.
Oh no! This is a terrible
That's
joke.
engineering, baby. Now, the last question you need to ask yourself before going into engineering is the most important one, which is who do you think would win? The combined power of the military-industrial complex, Big Pharma, the oil industry, and Wall Street all working together, or the English professor who has to teach the engineering ethics class in first year?
For real, for real. For real, for real. Somehow the ethics professors, somehow they still win though for some students. Kind of crazy.
Because while engineers have some of the most important jobs in society, they also bear a lot of responsibility for the unintended consequences of their actions. And this is why I feel it's my duty to remind students and new graduates of the only question you need to know the answer to, which is when is it okay to violate your moral principles?
If the paycheck is big enough. I'm calling it here. That's my prediction.
Exactly. It has to be at least
I didn't pre-watch it, chat, I swear.
6 figures. Now, as someone who dropped out of software engineering, it means I barely scraped by first year linear algebra and am deeply scared of things that physically
Okay, so I don't honestly understand how this image relates to linear algebra at all, to be honest.
exist, which is why I like using an electronic SIM card instead of buying physical ones when I travel.
Oh, this is a sponsor.
This video's sponsor,
Frick.
Saley, I could do just that. I recently went on a trip to Japan for a holiday and to visit some family, and my phone company usually charges me $15 a day for roaming, meaning I would have paid $300 for the time I was there. This is such a bad deal I was about to tariff Japan, but luckily I came to my senses, and just by using it,
He threw in the Trump jab. He threw in the Trump jab.
an eSIM through Saley, I was able to pay just $25 for a month with 20 gigs of data. I found this way more convenient than trying to replace the physical SIM when you land, because you don't have to go
Do you have like a pin or toothpick or something?
through a complicated activation process or immediately realize you were just scammed by a sketchy vendor. Plus, there's no risk of losing your old SIM when you swap it out. If you're going to be in multiple countries, you can also get multi-region coverage or
Wait, so is Saley a whole carrier? It's a full provider?
just quickly add a new country whenever you get there. If you'd like to try it out, you can click the link in the description or use the code CASUALLY when you check out on the app for an exclusive 15% discount on your first purchase.
Honestly, good video. Good video, chat. He's so on point with like a lot of his memes about engineers and his stereotypes. Heartbreaking. Casually explained makes video in your niche and you have to face the truth. He's exposing us, chat. He's exposing us. Okay. Real quick, chat. I need water. I need more water. I'll be right back. I'll be right back, chat. And then when I come back, we'll find something to do. I stood up, and like as I stood up to grab another thing of water from the fridge, the hunger hit me, chat. The hunger hit me. Fucking diets are so fucking brutal. I'm fighting, honestly, I'm fighting my primal instincts to just go out and like buy ice cream. I just need to make it 2 more weeks to off-kai though, chat. I need to make it 2 more weeks to off-kai. And, you know, maintain good, really tight, strict dieting till then so that I can have nice, beautiful summer body. But frickin', I'm so hungry all the time. I'm so hungry all the time, chat. I'm craving. I want the sugar. I want the carbs. I looked at a piece of bread earlier today and I was like, I need it. I need it. I need it. And I had to... You know how you do that thing where you're like playing with your dogs and you have treats, but they're not supposed to eat them until you tell them to, and then you like set the treat down in front of them, and the only way for them to not like immediately lunge at it is for them to turn away. So they're like, oh, I won't look at it. I won't look at it. That's how I felt earlier today, chat. That's how I felt, because it was literally someone brought bagels in. Someone brought bagels into the office, and I was like, I can't look. I can't look, I'm salivating. Too many carbs. Too many calories. But I can't wait. I can't wait until after I finish my dieting period, and then I'm just gonna go nom 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 and eat all the things that I've been craving this whole time. Gonna eat ice cream. Gonna eat pizza. You know, all the good stuff. All the good stuff. The other day I wanted a steak. And I think steak maybe is not that bad to eat, because steak's, you know, just like, it's just protein, no carbs, right? Maybe a little bit of fat, but really not that much. But I also feel like there's no way that I'm going to have steak and not have like a side. And then when you have sides, then you start picking up all those carbs, all those fats, all those sugars. You have the opposite problem. You're skinny. Hopefully hitting the gym will help a bit. Do you eat enough, skill issue? You should just find more delicious food and then you go nom 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 nom. Make sure it's healthy though. You're still growing, right? Hi, Cat Goes Mew. How are you? How are you? I hope your Friday night's going well. I hope your weekend is gonna start well. I was just talking about how fucking hungry I am. And we just watched a video about fucking brownies. You got mochi? I want mochi. After stream, like I have to battle my inner demons, because after a stream, I really just want to go down the street to Cold Stone and get ice cream. Ice cream sounds so good. Or like, I don't know, there's a 24-hour donut shop near me. I should stop even thinking about it. Even thinking about it is dooming me, because I can feel my willpower being sapped by thinking about it. Take you with me? No. I would have to dox where I am, chat. I would have to dox where I am. That does not seem strategically good. That sounds like a terrible decision. But I can't eat, because I've already eaten my allotted calories for the day. I had breakfast with egg and bacon. And then I had like this Tex-Mex Chipotle bowl thing from Chili's, which was basically just chicken and salad, but that would... Oh my god, when you're hungry, chicken and salad taste so good. Chat. When you're hungry, it's... Everything tastes so good. Thank you for the head pats. Nya. Nya. What do I want to do? Chat. What do we want to do with some more of our stream time? I want to keep streaming. I feel like I should keep streaming. I feel like I don't really want to play games right now. Because I'm probably going to play a lot of fucking games like later this... I have so many things to do in video games that I want to do. But what I need to work on, chat, is I need to do more rigging. Do you guys remember how I was working on Misa the other day? What, chat? And she's got some shit working now, chat. Look at this. Look at the mouth. Ah, yeah, yeah. It's cute, right? And she's got eyes. Right? Her head can turn. Don't talk about what happens when we try and turn up and down and left and right at the same time. We only go up and down right now, or left and right. We don't know. We can't do corners because weird stuff we haven't properly rigged the mouth. but in the middle, right? And the normal sides, A-E-I-O-U, nam nam nam. That forehead size is crazy. Okay, but that's just like that's just because you don't see her hair covering it right now, skill issue. Right? With the hair it's fine. I can make her wink. I can make her wonk. Blink blanc. She's unhappy with you now. Okay. Back to Baldsa. The frog blink? What do you mean the frog blink? Is the frog blink winking and then wonking? Or is that both at once? What counts as one at a time? She's disgusted with you right now, chat. She's like, what's wrong with you? Wink. Oh, the... Wink, wonk, unwonk, unwonk. Yep, okay. I think we should fix some of these corners. Oh my god. That's bad. Okay, so it's the mouth. Let's see if I remember how to do this. We need to generate corners. Synthesize corners. Let's see if it works. Okay, and then, I mean, that's good enough to start, and then we'll adjust it. We do the same synthesization on the nose. Okay, chat. It's not that bad. I mean, it's like a little bad, right? There's definitely some, like, warping for sure happening. But I think it's a good enough base point, and then we can adjust. Also, her fucking... I didn't realize her chin would look so fucking massive at this angle. Maybe we should just make her not go as far up. Okay. What do we want to rig next? Do we want to rig iris motion next? Or should we rig hair next? We can rig the hair to move with her head. That sounds like a bit right now. I think we start with iris motion. That sounds more doable. I need to fix the frown. I couldn't stand having her look at me all sad like this whole time while I worked on it. Okay. We'll make... What we need is the folder with the right eye? This one's the right eye. Yeah. Right eyeball. Irises. Select all child objects. And we'll do... Oh. We should clean up this mesh. Just remove all the shit that we are not going to use. Just because that'll make it cleaner. Okay. Manage child objects. Select all. And then we'll do eyeball X first. Oh no, we'll do a warp deformer. Then we'll do eyeball X. And when we go all the way to the right, it will be... Oh, that's not good. We need to make sure that this drops to the eye weight. Otherwise, that'll happen, and her eye will go out of her fucking eyeball. Ooh. That's a problem. Because we need this crop to the base. Unless... What we can do is we can bring the eye white to the top, I guess. And invert it with the iris? Add all this stuff. Change our shadow to only clip now to the main iris. Okay. Move the shadow from the anti-clip on the white, I think. Okay. Now... Oh no, it's still... This one that we're seeing pop out? No. No. Some combination of both? What is it that we're seeing? Oh, it's this one. mesh. Okay, we need to clip this to something else. What did we clip it to? This is a fan model? Yeah, I mean, you could say it's a fan model. I'm gonna give to her. You could also, I'm also sort of doing this because I want to make one for myself in this same style, and I'm sort of just prototyping a model for myself. We really need to figure out this one. Which of these is showing up? Alright, mesh 64 is the eye white, right? Yeah, so it's showing up. Why is it showing up on the eye white if the eye white doesn't go all the way out there? Is it this one that's showing up on? Very confused. 64, 62. Oh, it's the shadow. Oh, okay. Do we clip this to the white then? But then it shows up on the inside, I think. Oh, I know what we do. We make the white not... We make the white not invert clip with the shadow. Okay. We clip this to only the white. Okay. Yep. Clip this also to only the white. Question mark? Yeah. There we go. Okay. Look good now? Boom. Okay. Now we go all the way, that's right. And if we go all the way left... We probably should add this little gleam into that deformer. And that way it'll move with it. Good. Okie dokie. Boom, boom. Let's do the other eye. Oh, we're gonna have to implement that same architecture. Whatever. We'll make it work. Iris. Give this a warp deformer. Wait, were these not meshed? There's no way, right? Meshed? Meshed. Okay. Right eye's all meshed. It's the left eye. Guess we auto mesh these. Deformation heavy. Maybe that was too heavy, but whatever. It's just more compute power. We'll edit this. Remove all the points we're not using. Okay. And then this will be linked to the eyeball X, so when we go this way, it'll be there. Do they move together? Well enough. And then if we go all the way this way... Oi, it looks bad, but we'll fix that. We'll fix that. Okay, let's remember how we clipped all this. This was... The eye weight went over... Wait, the shadow. We need to unclip this from the right eyeshadow. Or maybe we don't. Maybe we don't. Maybe we just put the eyeshadow over. And then... What is going on? Yeah, I guess we put it over. The eye white. And then we have it anti-clip with all the things that the eye white is anti-clipping with. Is that good enough? No, it's not. Fuck. Because it shows into her face. Freak. Freak. Put it over the iris stuff and we have it anti-clip. We have the eye white anti-clip with it. We gotta get this right, chat. I don't know. It's still not right. It's still not right. Is this? This only clips onto... What? This should only clip onto the iris. I think. No, it's not. That's what it is. There we go. Okay. Finally. Okay. Now we need to do the left eye. We need to make it match in structure. So what we're gonna do is we're going to start by making the left eyes white on top. Terrifying. We are going to clip these to the eye white. Gonna make this inverse clip with the irises. This gradient should also clip to the iris, question mark? And the eyeball gleam should clip to that. Okay, so now does it look right? Questionably. Questionably. Okay, let's give her some y-axis. Add this. So if we move up, it goes this way. If we move down, it goes this way. Does that seem right? Does that seem aligned with the angle of her head? Doing 3/4 rigs is actually so much harder than I thought it would be. When the head isn't like straight up and down, perfectly head on, it's so, like, it makes it so much harder to visualize. Okay, here, here, here. Okay, other eye. Give it some... Give it that same Y dependency. Go up. Oh, they're separating. Need her eyes to stay in line with each other. Then down here. Okay. Boop, boop. Okay. And what we'll do is we'll synthesize corners. We'll fix this. We'll fix this in a second, chat. But first we need to synthesize the other set of corners. Okay. What is the issue here? What is the issue here? It is you need to be clipping to the eye white? Question mark? What is it clipping to on the other one? Why is the left one working? Clip to the left eye white. Yeah. Right, iris shadow. The shadow, and the other one needs to be clipped to... Guess we need to clip it to the iris. Okay. So we have to clip you to the iris base. Wait, it is clipped to the iris base. Oh wait, no, it needs to be clipped to the eye white? Then the eye white needs to... This needs to go on top, and we'll anti-clip it, maybe. No, we can't anti-clip it with the iris. Frick! We've set ourselves up for failure with our structure here. Right, eye white. Oh, I know. We'll not clip the right eye white with the shadow. Put the shadow over it. And we'll have the shadow anti-clip. Doop doop doo. Oh, it's so difficult getting what I want. We just have no shadow. Easy. No eyeshadow. Easy. Screw it. Why make it good when we can just start cutting corners? Who knows? Okay, how does it look when I move her head? Let's move these up so that I can... Actually, we should just move this whole thing up. Okay. Oh! What? What? What happened? Why does the eye white not move anymore? Are you not under the... Where are you? Show me you in the list. You need to be in the fucking deformer. Okay. This is for sure uncanny, right, chat? This is super uncanny. Absolutely. Oh gosh. This gleam needs to clip onto the eye white. It's going out of bounds. That way, when we look all the way up here... Okay. Extremely uncanny? Yeah. Okay. But I was asking glands... Not more uncanny than a can opener? Oh my god, thanks, Dad. Fucking dad jokes. I was talking to Glands, and he said it will always look really uncanny if you start to really scrutinize it. Which is true. Like, the secret is that it's a chibi, and chibis are not intended to look realistic. They're just sort of gonna get, like, glanced over, right? You're, like, it's okay if it doesn't look perfect under scrutiny. It just needs to look natural enough when people are, like, sort of looking at it. What about when we open and close our eyes? Does this... The side-eye chat? Really? She's like, really? This Belle girl's pretty sus. This Belle girl pretty sus. I'm not sure how I feel about it. Okay. Let's do hair. I guess we start with... God, do we start with front hair or do we start with side hair? I guess we start with side hair. Frick. And child objects, select all. Oh, we need to mesh these. Not manually. We're not manually meshing these. We're meshing them standard. Okay. And then, and child object, select all. We're gonna warp deform. Ooh, that's not what I want. I want one for all of the side hair, not just the left. Select all child objects. All side hair. Okay. We're going to give this angle X and Y. We're going to shift it. Oi. Alright, all we start with is a shift. That, all we start with is we start by shifting things, and then we'll handle stretching and warping it a little bit later. Right, so we just start with shift. A basic shift. Okay? Then when we go the other side, it should be the other way. Does it look... If we're only looking at the middle part, does it look well enough matched? No, I think it needs to turn more. Or maybe not. Maybe just a tad. Okay? Because what we're really gonna focus on when she turns this direction is we're gonna focus on this hair on the left. Right? That's gonna come closer to camera. And we need that to really match the eye. That's what we should really be worried about here. And it does. Sort of. Okay. Easy, easy. And then same with the right side. Does it match the eye? And I think the answer is no. I think it's more to do with the shifting than it is, or more to do with the movement than the turning on this side. Boom. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Now we're going to do some deformation on each of them. Select all. This will be specifically the right side hair. We'll give this that same X and Y. So when we go this way, it needs to stretch a little. Right? Does this... Needs to stretch a little bit more. Okay. Boom. That doesn't look too bad, chat. Okay. We gotta do... And then when it turns away, what needs to happen is it needs to actually get skinnier. Whoops. Alright. Boom. Boom. Okay. And then specifically for the left side here, you select it all. Another warp deformer. Give it the X's and the Y's. This needs to get skinnier when she turns away from us because it's moving back. Ooh. Not that skinny. That's too much. I guess we'll just have to warp it by hand really towards the edges, right? We need the edges to come in. Ba, ba, ba. I should be using the brush instead of doing this so manually point by point. Doing it point by point, I think, is really bad practice. But right now, I'm sort of in a, like, if it gets the job done mood. You feel me, chat? You feel me? Boom. And then the other side, we need it to get wider. Understandable? Yeah. Yeah. You feel me, chat. You feel me. Okay. What happens when you start... Oh, we need to cover this. We need to cover this. You have to do it manually then. Just so that we can cover the spots we need to cover. Okay. Again, it's a little off, for sure. It's for sure a little off, but... It's Friday evening, correct, or Friday night, 10 p.m. Okay, we've neglected a part of our stuff, and that's this middle part, this, like, the core of where all her hair originates from. That also needs to be properly calibrated to the movement. I think Blair needs to go on top of everything, perhaps. And this needs to... Oh, why did that happen? Why did that happen? Okay. And then we need this origin deformer to stay pretty centered. I think our right side hair also needs to extend a little bit more in this position. We need to cover those lines where the head peeks out a little. Okay. How do we feel about this? Huh? Oh, don't mess with the Y, just mess with the X. Okay. The right side still we need to shrink this more. We need to pull this in. Eh? Oh, the center. Okay, the center's fucking it up a little. Okay. Good to know, good to know. We'll take the center out of view for now. And we'll bring it back. Okay, so the moral of the story, chat, by the way, if you, like, not understanding what's going on, is as things on the face, like, move away, right? So as this left side of her face moves away, those parts of it need to shrink, right? So everything on that side, the hair on that side starts to shrink. Just a touch. Because it's moving, like, further away from you, right? So perspective is going to make it smaller relative to you. The song is nice? Oh yeah, I guess I've just been running my background music this whole time. But hey, now we add in, oh frick, we have to do the Y's. Okay. How do we do the one? We just shift, okay. We just shift up. Which I guess, in this case, looks a bit like that. Right? Boom. Boom. Yeah, that actually is, like, more or less what it looks like, I guess. Okay, and now we'll synthesize corners. Synthesize. What if we just don't leave? Oh, actually, yeah, that's right. We just don't give those single side oriented deformations any Y input. Okay. Okay. Okay, that's not too bad. That's not too shabby, chat. I think we need to stretch this out a little bit more. Then we'll try resynthesizing. Chad, I think it doesn't look too bad so far. I mean, there's for sure things, right? There's for sure issues here. But I think with art and engineering, right? A big theme is, like, make it the best you can in this very moment, right? And you get things that, like, sort of work in this very moment. And then after that, you start fine-tuning them, right? Get things that generally seem alright. And then fine-tune. Select them all. Oh, I forgot how many layers this shit had. Okay. Minimum viable product? Okay, now you're starting to sound really evil, like some shit EA would do. Oh, we actually have to... Oh, computer, don't die! Okay, I'm sorry, I had to set everything to deformation heavy here. because we're gonna add physics to this hair later. I don't want to say minimum viable, because that makes it sound evil, like we're really trying to like skimp people. Terraformer of all front hair. And we're really not trying to skimp people of everything. Like, not trying to super skimp them at least. But, oh, that's not right. But really, what it is you just want, like, prototypes, right? Maybe minimum viable product is the right word. I don't know. That. Oh, we forgot about something. On this. Shit. Our X is not directly left and right, chat. Our X is fucking... Our X on these stupid 3/4 models is turning upward. So it's not just a shift to the right, it's a shift slightly up, and it turns us. Just a tad. Right? I think that's maybe too high. Oh, I understand why people don't have 3/4 models anymore. Or why people don't really like 3/4 models now. It does sound sort of corpa, yeah. In our other direction, when we go left, I should change my category. Where's changing the art? Okay, so we go bam, bam. No, we need to go further. We need to go further. Bam, 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 bam. Okay. Now we need to do... Oh. We need to do this. We need to start focusing on specific bangs, chat. Okay, we've got this right side bang. So this will be right side bang. We go to this side. It shrinks again. We can't do any real funny business with any of the front hair because the front hair is in the front, so it's never hidden. It's never hidden behind something, so it always has to look proper. Chat. Trim and proper. Oh, that does not look proper. Okay. Bum bum. Boom. Ooh. I don't like that, chat. You see that? You see how the shadow... This shadow gets fucking... just sort of melts behind. I don't think that's how it should work. means I think we need to curl this shit in more. Ooh, we're messing with the wrong layer. We fucked up, chat. Okay, we forgot a crucial part. And that's to add the add the variable for angle x. Okay. Boom. Tuck this shit in. Tuck it in, chat. Suck in that stomach. Fit it into the dress. Honestly, where's this shit? The gleam should go at the very top. Or should, fuck. We'll put it at the very top. Okay. Have a good one, skill issue. Okay, back to making our right side bang. Prim and proper from all angles. I think, honestly, considering how little time I've spent working on it so far, right? We've only been working, maybe, on touching this for an hour. I feel like we've made a lot of really quick progress on just sort of prototyping or initial versions of movement. Even though it's like, I get that this is slow and it's probably not that interesting to watch, chat, but I'm feeling pretty okay about it so far. Do. I think this is an issue with the side hair where this shadow seems to pull in. Front right, front left. Need this stuff also to come in. It should follow the curve of her head. What the hell's happening here? What the frick is happening here? Why do we suddenly see through her hair? I guess it doesn't matter too much. Left side hair. Her right side hair? This position actually was fine to stretch out. Do 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 do. Bum 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 bum. Do 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 do. Pull it in. Pull it in. Hey, not bad. Okay. I mean, I understand the back hair still does not really move the way it should, but honestly, if you see this and you're just glancing at it, it doesn't look too bad. We still need to mess with the front bangs. The front bangs are pretty important. We'll give them all their own warp deformer. A general warp deformer. All front bangs. Bam, bam. Ew. Huge. Call some of this stuff in. Oh, that's not the right warp deformer. Hope I didn't fuck it up too much. All that stuff in again. Okay. Bam. Bam. Wachan. Bam, bam. Thank you, man. Oh, as soon as we add in the Y's, fucks everything up. Everyone's favorite. Okay. Y goes up. Boom. Boom. This stuff needs to go in a little bit further. Or up a little bit further. And up, 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 up. Squishing wrong. Something about it is squishing wrong. Okay, what if we only go to 20? Hey, I mean, another suggestion Glance had was don't let the face move too high. So stop like here, which is reasonable. Honestly, very reasonable. But let's quickly add some more downward looking stuff. Synthesize our corners. Oh! That's messed up. That's messed up. Synthesize these corners too. Okay. So we go wobble, wobble, wobble. Ah. 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 She's so fucking goofy looking. Okay, let's edit our parameter from -20 to +20. It's not too there's for sure work to be done. For sure work to be done. But it's a good start. Okay. We can move our eyes. That seems normal. We can wink wonk. Fuck with the mouth. What else do we need to work on? I mean, we really need to do these front bangs more, I guess. Making them work individually is gonna be so much fucking effort. Okay. That's really cornery. Gotta make sure our corners aren't too cornery. Bum, 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 bum. How do we need the back hair to move? Left back hair. We'll do all of this stuff. We'll auto mesh it standard. And we'll do a deformer. All back hair. Bum, 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 bum. We'll quickly do our X's again. I need to fix her mouth. Can't have her frowning at me when I fuck with her hair. Da 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 da. Does this look right? And then the other side. Need to get rid of these. Fans. Oh, that's a problem. Okay. We did not make our drawing layers big enough, so now when we shift her hair, we see the edge. That's bad. That's bad. Not good. Not good. Whatever. Whatever. It'll be a hiccup. It's a hiccup for sure. Do, do. Do, 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 do. Side hair, this gleam needs to go all the way back, or all the way towards the front layers. Do, 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 do. Synthesize these corners. Now, let's edit and see how it looks if she can only go 20 degrees up and down. Boop, boop, boop. Honestly, chat, this is fucking not terrible. There's for sure work to be done on like little clipping like this, right? Where some layers clip over where they should. But not bad. this ever... Oh. Pull this in, that it doesn't go out of bounds. Oh. Okay. That's not too bad. This is kind of bad. Okay, that's bad. That's bad. This for sure. What? What? Why does that not affect the lines? What? What's inside of you? Where are the lines? That should affect the lines. Why does that not affect the lines? What? What the fuck voodoo is this? Oh, it's tied to the lines of the layer on top. Okay. Okay. That makes so much more sense. There's no line for the side here. It's just the line for the top hair. Or the front hair. Means we're mainly gonna play with the front hair. Which is alright with me. We have to pull this shit in. Oh, that's not right. Don't want to turn all the fucking thing. Huh? Nah. Something's not right about this top left bang. Okay, this might be another looking at it too much scenario. Have to settle at some point. Especially if it's in a region we're not going to go into. Because we're not going past 20 degrees. Not going past 15 degrees even. Is that the goal we should set? 15 degrees? That might be a reasonable goal, to be honest. Let's see, modeling. Pattern B. Oh, she seems like a bobblehead. Her head's bobbling. It's kinda cool though, chat. Look at this. It's kinda fucking sick. Just watching her talk. Yes, I'm Misa Misa. Misa Misa VT. We should fix these lines. Auto connect. You also need auto connect. I don't know why it just randomly cuts like this. This one too. Down. Cross. Now we go again. Physics settings. Posing. Up. Middle. Right. Middle E again. It's pretty fucking okay, chat. It's pretty okay. Oh, it needs more work though. There's for sure more work to be done. Let's save this. File. Save as. Edit our Y parameters to be 15 to 15. And we try it again. Blub, blub, blub. Heckin' yeah. Heckin' yeah, it actually looks... I'm actually really solidly happy with it. We have to add physics. Okay, let's try pattern A instead. Oh. Okay. Honestly, great. Way better than I expected for how little time I put in tonight. But speaking of time, it's fucking 11 p.m. chat. Wow, which means I've been streaming like over 3 hours now. I think we're probably going to try and call it a night. I'm going to stream more later this weekend. Yeah, probably tomorrow. Probably gonna play games, but I'd also like to work more on this model. This model's so good. I'm feeling so good about this, honestly, right now. I'm feeling so rewarded. But for now, we're calling it a night. I'll see y'all maybe tomorrow. If not, I'll see you next week whenever you catch my next stream. But have a good night. And we're rating Jeeps. We're rating Jeeps. Okay. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, chat.